Imagine you're looking out from your apartment window like any normal day, but today, the entire row of high-rises in front of you suddenly turns into a wall of fire. The bamboo scaffolding wrapped around the building erupts like a gigantic fuse, enclosing the homes of thousands of people. And it all begins from a small fire on the outside of the building. You're watching Global Weather Disasters, the channel where we break down not only storms, floods, and extreme weather, but also firestorms in the middle of our vertical cities. In today's video, we'll walk through the full timeline of the devastating fire at Wang Fuk Court, Tai Po, Hong Kong, explain how the flames were able to spread so unbelievably fast, and most importantly, draw out practical lessons for anyone living in a high-rise building. If you, or your loved ones, live in an apartment tower, what you're about to hear could be life-saving knowledge on the worst day you never thought would come. It's a Wednesday afternoon in Tai Po, Hong Kong. The air is calm. The daily rhythm in this dense housing estate feels completely normal. At Wang Fuk Court, renovation work has been going on for a long time. The towers are wrapped from top to bottom in bamboo scaffolding and safety netting, a very familiar sight to local residents. Around 2:50 p.m., some residents start noticing a thin trail of smoke rising from the scaffolding area. At first, it looks like a minor issue. Maybe some material caught fire, maybe a stray spark. But with wind sliding along the tall facades, dry bamboo, plastic netting, and flammable insulation on the exterior, the fire quickly grows beyond control. From a single ignition point, flames cling to the scaffolding and race straight upward, as if someone lit a giant vertical torch next to the building. In a very short time, the fire begins to spread to scaffolding on the neighboring towers. Window glass shatters under the intense heat. In some units, residents recall flames and smoke forcing their way inside within just a few minutes. Inside the towers, reality is far more chaotic than any safety brochure. Not everyone hears a proper fire alarm in time. Some say they were jolted awake or alerted only by frantic pounding on doors, by desperate screams from neighbors. When they open their doors, they don't see a clear corridor. They're hit by a dense black wall of smoke, the sharp smell of burning plastic and wood. Elevators quickly turn into death traps. Some stop working. Others stop at smoke-filled floors. The stairwell, the only real escape route, is pitch dark, slippery, and full of choking smoke. Many residents are elderly, walking with canes or wheelchairs. For them, going down dozens of flights of stairs in heavy smoke is almost impossible. In each apartment, the same terrifying question appears. Do we stay inside, seal the door, or risk stepping into a corridor full of smoke? No one has enough information. No one has a guide standing there telling them what to do. Every family is forced to make the most critical decision of their lives in just a few tens of seconds. To understand why this fire became so catastrophic, we need to look deeper at how these buildings are built and how they're renovated. Bamboo scaffolding is a very characteristic feature of Hong Kong. It's cheap, light, flexible, and can be wrapped around almost any facade. For residents, seeing a tower fully covered in bamboo is nothing unusual. But in a fire, dry bamboo becomes highly combustible. Once it ignites, it burns extremely fast and extremely hot. When a high-rise of several dozen floors is wrapped completely in bamboo scaffolding, plastic netting, tarps, and external insulation panels, you've effectively created a flammable shell around the homes of thousands of people. Just one ignition point on that shell can send flames racing along the scaffold, like a dedicated expressway built just for fire. Add to that, the strong wind flows along tall buildings, and the flames don't just spread sideways. They're pulled upwards, hugging the façade, then jumping to neighboring towers. That's why at Wang Fuk Court the fire doesn't just stay in one corner. It rapidly engulfs the whole complex. Another major issue is the fire alarm system and evacuation process. According to many residents, they were not alerted immediately by a building-wide alarm. Many only realized there was a fire after hearing screams or frantic knocking. That means those first crucial minutes, the golden window for a safe evacuation, were already lost. By the time thick smoke had filled the corridors, elderly people, children, and those with disabilities had almost no chance of getting out safely. At that point, every choice is a bad choice. Open your door and face smoke, or stay inside while flames could reach your windows at any moment. If we call this just bad luck, we miss the real lessons. This fire exposes deep systemic problems, cost pressures in construction and renovation, layers of subcontractors that blur responsibility, old buildings patched and wrapped over and over without a proper holistic fire safety assessment, regulations that look strict on paper but weak enforcement in real life. When several weak links line up together, materials, scaffolding, alarms, escape routes, a disaster can happen even in the middle of a modern, developed city. From a city's perspective, the Wang Fuk Court fire is a loud warning. Dense high-rise housing areas must be carefully re-examined for their external materials, especially cladding and insulation systems. Renovation works that wrap entire occupied towers in scaffolding need far stricter control, from what materials are used to how netting, tarps, and foam panels are installed. Fire alarm systems and escape routes also need a serious rethink. Alarms must truly reach every apartment and be tested regularly. Corridors and stairwells cannot turn into storage spaces. In buildings with many elderly or disabled residents, there must be tailored evacuation plans, assigned helpers, and intermediate refuge areas. At the individual level, we can't write the laws, but we can change our own odds of survival. Even just one practice run, walking from your apartment down to the ground floor via the stairs, counting the turns and doors, can make you much calmer in a real emergency. Take a look at your own front door. Does it close by itself? Are there big gaps around it? In many fires, a solid, well-closing door can keep smoke and flames out of your apartment corridor for a surprisingly long time. Enough for you to call for help or wait for clear instructions? Keep a small safety kit ready. Tape, a towel you can wet, a small flashlight. In the worst-case scenario, these simple tools can be incredibly useful. And finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask your building management when the fire system was last tested. Ask about escape routes, about what materials are being used in ongoing renovation. If you see corridors blocked with flammable items or construction debris, speak up. One photo, one report, one complaint can be the first step that prevents another disaster like this. The Wang Fuk Court fire is not just Hong Kong's story. It raises a question for every high-rise city on Earth. Are we building homes in the sky, or are we unknowingly creating giant torches waiting to ignite? If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to Global Weather Disasters so you don't miss our in-depth breakdowns of storms, floods, fires, and other catastrophic events. Share this video with friends or family who live in high-rise apartments. Sometimes, a few minutes of the right information can save a life. And let us know in the comments. Do you feel safe in the building you live in? Have you ever taken part in a fire drill where you live? Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next episode of Global Weather Disasters.